News has broken today that Carnival Cruise Line was sailing in the Gulf of Mexico during Hurricane Ida. We'll tell you what you need to know. Also, while we're on the topic of Carnival, we're going to take a quick look at the menu for Carnival Mardi Gras, Guys, Pig, and Anchor. A tweet was sent out from a passenger on Carnival Mardi Gras who allegedly tested positive for COVID-19 upon disembarkation and is having trouble getting in contact with the cruise line. We're going to tell you a little bit more about this story, as I think it may have an impact on Carnival's policies moving forward. Plus, more articles emerge that prove cruising is the safest method of travel at the current moment. We'll tell you what you need to know. And we're going to cover all of the Carnival cruise ships that are currently back in service as of the end of August. All this and more coming up on Midships. Hey, welcome to the Midships YouTube channel. I'm your Captain Corey, and before we get started, I want to remind you our giveaway is currently live. If you'd like to be entered to win these prizes, including the passport holder with COVID card insert, seasickness wristbands, and magnetic hooks for your cruise ship cabin, simply follow the link in the description below or the one pinned in this top right corner. Now, let's get into the cruise news for the week because we've got a lot of things going on, and I want to get started with a tweet that I came across the other day and I think could develop into something important, and that is from a passenger that was on board of Carnival Mardi Gras. He tweeted that upon arriving back home, he tested positive for COVID-19 and was having trouble getting in touch with the cruise line. This tweet has been picked up by a law firm that likes to litigate against the cruise lines out of the Miami, Florida area. And you know, my big thing is consider the source whenever you're pulling in information. Yes, this law firm does have maybe a built-in bias against cruise companies because of the nature of their work. However, I have no reason to believe that their reporting is anything less than true. So I want to just show you an article from Jim Walker's cruiselawnews.com, and I'm just going to show you this tweet excerpt from this page. This tweet is from a man named Dale, and please do not bother this man. This is not how Midships treats people. Carnival Cruise just got off the Mardi Gras yesterday, 8:28, and tested positive for COVID this morning, 8:29. We were in cabin 17279, and the only reason I'm tweeting this is you have no way to call and relay this information. I've heard others on our trip had tested positive as well. So you can see the photo of the test here in Dale's tweet, and Cruise Law News has picked this up and says that, in fact, they also see that there's a problem with reporting these type of things after a passenger has disembarked from the cruise. Now, as I read more into this tweet, this cruiser just wanted to make sure that their cabin steward was aware that they had been in close contact with somebody who had COVID. They were basically just fearing for their cabin steward's health and safety. So there's nothing really nefarious going on here, but it does raise a good point that maybe these cruise lines need to look into a better system for passengers who have disembarked to report symptoms or positive cases after they've disembarked the ships. It's just another thing that we need to look at to make these cruises even more safe. And speaking of safe, we have a couple news articles, even from foreign news outlets, that are reporting on how the cruise industry is one of the safest ways to travel right now. So let's look at an article from Sky News out of Australia. Cruises have done the work to ensure COVID-safe travel. And I could not find an author on here, so we're just going to attribute this to Sky News, Australia. Carnival's Australian president says both P&O and Carnival Cruise Line have done the work to make cruise ships a safe place for travel once Australia reopens. And this can also be inferred here in the U.S. because we have some of the strictest regulations on any industry when it pertains to COVID safety for cruise lines. Carnival Australia's CEO recently announced a plan for P&O and Carnival to restart their operations with voyages for vaccinated guests and crew only. We have the protocols and the measures in place to safely restart cruise operations in Australia. Now that the government has announced their 4-phase plan to reopen, cruise needs to be a part of one of those 4 phases. As vaccination levels increase and pick up pace around the country, there's no reason why cruising can't be part of that. we have restarted operations in many parts around the world and can do so here. So to the Midships family that cruises down under, we hope to see you on the high seas again very soon. And while we're talking about how safe the cruise restart has been so far, since that article was so short, we do have another one here that we're going to go ahead and skim through as well. From FodorStravel.com. Can this be real? Is this the safest method of travel right now? No airplane, hotel, movie theater, restaurant, or your local Target is mandated to have a 95% vaccination rate. The assurance that 100% of those around you has tested negatively for COVID recently, and a mask policy that's thoroughly enforced. But cruises do. So I'm going to be skimming through some of the fluff in the beginning of this article to kind of get to the meat of things. So we're going to hop into a section here where the author starts talking about the COVID protocols on board Carnival Mardi Gras. There were noticeable differences as well on board. And not just the COVID vaccine requirement, negative testing needed to board, and masks being worn by everyone while indoors. With all restaurant crew taking an extra safety step by sporting N95 medical masks. As the author wrote before, they're not scared at all to cruise during the COVID world. Having now cruised, they would double down on that position by saying there may be no safer place because no other place, like the aforementioned airplane, hotels, theaters, or restaurants, are mandated to have that high vaccination rate and the assurance that those around you have all tested negative in the prior days. So I know a lot of the Midships family is planning to head out on a cruise aboard the brand new Carnival Mardi Gras. And we wanted to take just a quick second to show you one of the menus from a new venue on board. That is Guy's Pig and Anchor. And obviously most of the Midships family has never eaten at this venue, so I thought we would just take this opportunity to go ahead and get everybody's mouth watering on some delicious restaurant food from Guy's. So this is their menu. Now they also have a breakfast menu that is not going to be seen on this broadcast, but we may look at the Pig and Anchor Smokehouse breakfast menu in another show. So you can see these are going to be your options. They have daily specials depending on the day of the week. Also, every day of the week, you can do this, choose any 3 meats and add any 3 side options. So it looks like you're going to have a lot of variety here. And then we also have some sort of all-time favorites. I've heard some really good things about this Pig and Anchor melt. And also, I've heard really good things about this barbecue filet mignon they serve on Sundays. But really what it's going to be all about here is going to be this dessert section. Look at all these fantastic desserts. Bourbon banana pie, apple cobbler, and Mississippi mud pie. I mean, we all know that cruises are halfway about the food, and it looks like Guy's Pig and Anchor is going to be delivering in spades. Royal Caribbean announced some changes coming for people in their rewards program near the top tier. We're going to take a look at an article from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com to learn a little bit more about the new policy. So, from Matt Hochberg of Royal Caribbean Blog, Royal Caribbean announces it will add new lounge for its top-tier cruisers. For the people that cruise Royal Caribbean the most, there will be a new dedicated lounge just for them. And these are obviously the Crown and Anchor Society members here. Royal Caribbean announced on Tuesday it will add a new lounge exclusively for its Pinnacle Club cruise members. In order to be at the Pinnacle Club, you must accrue 700 points, making it the very top level of Royal Caribbean's customer loyalty program. The new Pinnacle Club Lounge is a result of Pinnacle Club members having access to the suite and concierge lounges temporarily revoked due to COVID-19 protocols. These venues will operate with capacity limits and will only be available to guests now staying in the suites. And here we have a list of the Pinnacle Club venues on board the different classes of Royal Caribbean ships here. So just go ahead and take a look at whatever class you will be sailing on. While the Pinnacle members were still able to go to the Diamond lounges on ships, the change did not sit well with some members. Just like the Diamond and Suite lounges, Pinnacle Club members will be able to enjoy light hors d'oeuvres and full bar service in a dedicated venue each night. The new Pinnacle lounges will operate through November 1st, 2021. Further updates on its future will be communicated as the situation evolves. In addition to the new lounges, Royal Caribbean is also offering Pinnacle members a flexible arrival option to check in at the terminal no earlier than 1 hour before the 30-minute arrival that you select ahead of your sailing, or up to 1 hour after. Pinnacle Club members sailing on Oasis and Quantum class ships will also receive a $25 dining voucher per menu per sailing to enjoy at any specialty restaurant of their choice. So it looks like loyal cruisers with Royal Caribbean are again being rewarded for their loyalty. When I woke up and read the news this morning that a Carnival cruise ship had braved the waters around Hurricane Ida, my jaw just about hit the floor. We're going to read some more about this story in the Sunday News out of Myrtle Beach by Chase Caracostas. Carnival cruise ship sailed into Gulf of Mexico as Hurricane Ida barreled down. Why? Sunbathing in the middle of the ocean during a hurricane, probably not what passengers expected when booking their Carnival cruise trip. A Carnival Breeze cruise ship set sail Thursday from Galveston, headed across the Gulf of Mexico for Cozumel, even as forecasters warned that Hurricane Ida could make landfall as a powerful storm. At the time Carnival Breeze deported Galveston, it was determined that it was safe to do so, said Chris Chiames, Carnival's chief communication officer, said on Saturday in an email. He also said, "We safely operate ships every year during hurricane season. Our Fleet Operations Center works with the National Hurricane Center to monitor storm activities and operate our itineraries." The article goes on to say cruise ships can easily maneuver to avoid a storm. Given Carnival's commitment to health and safety of their guests and crew, they will continue to closely follow the path of Ida and take any necessary actions to keep their ships out of harm's way. The article goes on to say Ida made landfall south of New Orleans as a Category 4 storm Sunday afternoon. The Carnival Breeze is scheduled to return to Galveston on Monday, when Ida is expected to be moving up the coast in Louisiana and Mississippi. One passenger on board the Breeze told the Sun Herald that the trip to Cozumel was pleasant, but that the wind and rain picked up at one point on the ship's route back to Texas. In a follow-up email sent on Sunday, Carnival acknowledged that the Breeze has safely navigated beyond Ida's path. So very interesting stories coming out of Galveston. I told you in my previous broadcast of Midship that Ida would be affecting cruise itineraries and cruise ships in and out of the Gulf of Mexico. And here we have a prime example with the Carnival Breeze leaving from Galveston, all those miles away, and Ida still affected this ship. And we're still continuing to watch the port of New Orleans and the port of Mobile to see if any new information comes out on the condition of those ports. So if you've not yet subscribed to the Midships channel, why not? Go ahead and click that subscription button down below. And if you absolutely love cruising, also hit that thumbs up button. We'd really appreciate it. Would you like to know which of Carnival's ships are back in operations right now as of recording this broadcast? Let's take a look at an article from cruiseindustrynews.com and find out a little bit more. Here are the Carnival cruise ships currently on the seas. After resuming service on August 21st, the Carnival Panorama became the latest vessel to join Carnival Cruise Line's active lineup. On a side note, we are still monitoring the situation with the Carnival Panorama's propulsion system that recently came out to have some sort of issue, some sort of fault in the propulsion system that's causing the ship to not be able to reach its maximum cruising speeds. So Carnival has not yet made any type of press release on what's going on with the ship or if any upcoming itineraries will be affected. I know some in the Midships audience are going on the Carnival Panorama in the next couple of weeks, so we're going to continue to monitor that situation. I check for news every day on Panorama, so make sure you're subscribed if you don't want to miss out when we figure out what's going on with the ship. I've heard rumblings that the ASI pods, which are the little pods in the back that the propellers are mounted to, could have some type of issue that may require a dry docking of the ship. So there may be some interruption to services, but stay tuned. Let's get back into this article and see which Carnival ships are currently sailing. So in August, a total of 3 vessels restarted operations, bringing the company's number of cruise ships in revenue operations to 8. Here are the ships currently operating. The Carnival Vista out of Galveston, Carnival Breeze from Galveston, Carnival Miracle from Seattle, Carnival Mardi Gras from Port Canaveral, Carnival Magic from Port Canaveral, Carnival Sunrise from Miami, and Carnival Panorama from Long Beach, California, outside of that super distinctive geodesic dome. While we have one story left for today, I wanted to remind you before we get started on that if you want to get your hands on any of the cruise swag offerings that we've given away in the current or the past giveaways on the Midships channel, there are Amazon affiliate links in the description below. It'll take you directly to the Amazon store on your cell phone, tablet, or in your web browser. And you can even pick a different color passport holder if that's what you choose. So the last story of today is about the largest cruise ship in the world. And that, of course, is the Wonder of the Seas from Royal Caribbean. She recently finished her test sailing, and we're going to tell you about some new footage that you can check out on the Royal Caribbean Facebook page. From cruisehive.com's Emery Thacker, Royal Caribbean releases new Wonder of the Seas video on her sea trials. Undoubtedly, all avid cruise fans heard that the world's next largest cruise ship recently underwent her sea trials. Royal Caribbean has now released a new video covering the major milestone and what took place. On August 20th, the next world's largest cruise ship, Wonder of the Seas, departed the Chantiers shipyard in France and began the important sea trials. It was a major milestone as the huge new cruise ship for Royal Caribbean is in the final stage of construction. We've got all these awesome photos of this new Wonder of the Seas. The new styling and the cladding on the outside of this ship up here on the forward and back on the aft section are just absolutely beautiful. I'm wondering if they're going to incorporate some type of light feature to this. We're just going to have to wait and see. Wonder of the Seas is the 5th Oasis-class cruise ship and spent a few days out at sea to make sure she's seaworthy and to test things like her propulsion, including technical aspects that can only be tested at sea. Since the vessel has arrived back at the shipyard, the cruise line has released a new video of Wonder of the Seas during her sea trials and some of the important tests that took place. You can watch the video on this webpage. So, like every article that we cover on Midships, there is a link in the description below. It will take you to this Cruise Hive webpage, and the video will be shown right here. I have an ad blocker turned on my web browser. That's why there is no video showing up here. But if you click the link in the description below, you will see the video. Wonder's sea trials lasted for 4 days and covered 1,550 nautical miles. The ship was pushed to its limits during a series of tests, including propulsion, navigation, engine performance, systems, and much more. There were a total of 40 acceptance tests completed. Many inspections were also completed, including checking piping, electricity, and HVAC systems. Wonder of the Seas went as fast as 24 knots out at sea, or 2,450 feet per minute. There were 500 Royal Caribbean team members and shipyard workers included on her sea trials. So really cool news coming out from Royal Caribbean about Wonder of the Seas. If you don't want to miss timely cruise-related news stories, please make sure you get subscribed to the Midships channel. Thanks for stopping by today, and until next time, we'll see you on the Midships.